Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, we will be talking about a large storm that could be occurring across the upper plains into the Midwest and into portions of the South, the East, and it will generally be creating a cold front that could be kind of stalling out across several locations and could actually take the next 10 days to clear the entire United States. So yeah, a very interesting storm system, and we'll be talking also about the heat that is going on a bit, kind of the flash flood watches, as you can see, which maybe I have something interesting to say about those, and also just show you the radar, what's going on across the east right now, prompting those flash flood warnings and advisories and watches. Also, I do want to say that if you guys are new to this channel, hello and welcome. I am a hobbyist about the weather. We speculate about the weather, we talk about the weather, and it's just a community of weather lovers. So if you enjoy this video, if you like this channel, consider subscribing. If you are a returning viewer, liking the video is awesome. If you are a new viewer, that would be awesome as well if you enjoy this content. And if you leave a comment down below, I will pretty much most definitely get to it. So yeah, let's get into this. So first off, I want to start off by looking at the western United States. Notice that we do have flash flood watches. Now, you may be wondering, why on earth are there flash flood watches where I was saying there could be extreme drought? Well, the thing is, notice most of them are centered towards the south and west. There are a few across areas that are, in the very bad drought and needed, like in Arizona, Utah. But if you recall, the west is very hilly, very mountain terrain. And all it takes is one thunderstorm, two thunderstorms, and a flash flood can occur very easily, much easier than across the Midwest or in flat terrain. So, you have a downpour. It occurs, say, sometimes even 50 to 40 miles away, and we have this water running down and this debris flow, and that's the dangerous part, these flash floods. You could have one thunderstorm that dumps a lot of rain, and the whole area is given a flash flood watch, because that could go wherever depending on where that thunderstorm occurs, and there's probably going to be several of those thunderstorms. So it doesn't necessarily mean a lot of those areas are going to see a lot of drought relief, especially since those debris flows, they are so quick, they turn into rivers and then they're gone. And the ground, yes, it absorbs some of it, but it doesn't really have a chance to percolate through the soil and really give the drought conditions, drought relief they need. Notice on the radar, there is a lot of storms, and they are moving very, very slowly. And out ahead of these storms, out behind, there's just this light, gentle, healing rainfall, if you will. Now, obviously, that is definitely good news. Notice that that light to moderate rain is falling. It's falling on parched soils, so it's percolating. But again, wherever it is hilly and rocky, it slides off pretty easily. I know that sometimes here across in my area, Illinois, very flat state, and you have a flash, a torrential rain, it flows, even though it doesn't seem like it would because it's so flat. So obviously when you're in a hilly terrain, you can only imagine how dangerous that could be. You can see even right there across the northwest. Now here, further across the east and into portions of the northeast, there are flash flood watches, but that's, well, they do occur here, but it's not as widespread. That's why there aren't watches as widespread as across Arizona and New Mexico. There are a few counties, actually quite a bit across the northeast, but that's mainly to do with already how saturated soil is there from their past rain events rather than just a single thunderstorm. But look, so take a look at South Bend. I'm just using this as an example, as there is a flash flood watch for that area. Notice they started to see some very heavy rain right there around 3, right? And then as we push this into 4, 5, 6 o'clock, there's continuously seeing very, very, very heavy rain from that. They're not really severe storms, but just extremely torrential downpours with a lot of rain. And notice that they're still potentially going to see some more rain. So right there, probably some isolated, maybe even widespread flooding going on. And notice, right, these storms, they're not widespread, but where they do occur, they are packing a punch. Now we do have a few clusters that are a bit more severe, or sorry, a bit more widespread. Right there, some rain, and there are pockets of very heavy rain, but overall, I mean, it's not a widespread event. Maybe towards the south it's a bit more widespread, and towards the northeast is where some of those severe storms are occurring. Right, look at that. Philadelphia got on quite a bit of rain, and then it looks as if there's more on the way. And again, if we were to layer on the severe thunderstorm watches and all the advisories, notice there are a few severe warned right there. And let's take a look at the warning, not the watch. I'm assuming probably wind and some hail with this. Yeah, 1-inch size hail, that's pretty big, and some wind. So just If you're under one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, don't go outside. Stay away from windows as they could produce some damage. And look at that, we actually have 2 tornado warnings. Radar confirmed tornado. It's a damaging one. So yeah, that's actually very bad. So please, if you have a tornado warning, especially, don't go outside and try to see if you can hear it. That's usually doesn't really go well. So let's stay indoors when that happens. And yeah, let's start talking about the storm system, as that's why you clicked on this video. But I do want to always give viewers and everyone a good view at what's going on across the U.S. And notice, right, it's a storm system. Nonetheless, it's spinning right there. It's nothing too extreme. The moisture flow isn't that significant in terms of its efficiency for being widespread. However, there is, again, that potential under any of these little tiny cells. 1 inch to 2 inches of rain very easily could fall. Unfortunately, it's not widespread, but at least some areas are getting some rain. Same thing with the Southwest. All right, let's move it forward now. Let's start talking about the storm system. So let's take a look at the GFS model first, and then I'll show you a bunch more. So this storm system isn't really showing itself on a map right now, but if we were to take a look at this moving forward, notice there's our storm system that we have going on today. It pushes towards the north and east, and there is our system that is bringing a bit of that shower. It's contributing to some of that shower activity across the Southwest. Not all of it, but some of it, and it slides out onto the plains. And look what it does once that happens, right? We have a giant bow echo of storms, definitely impacting Wyoming first, into South Dakota, into portions of North Dakota, and southern North Dakota, I should say, northern Nebraska as well. And this is into late tomorrow into early Wednesday morning. Notice it tracks through Minnesota. We do have some back building of storms according to the GFS. We have a large cluster right there into Wisconsin, passing through Iowa. Again, by Wednesday into late Wednesday into early Thursday. Notice the Southwest also popping up with quite a bit of storm activity right there. Definitely good relief for Colorado, Utah. Just again, it could be a danger with that flash flooding. And I don't want to say quite a bit of drought relief for southern Minnesota and Wisconsin if they're, for the areas that are dry. Look at that. That could bring a ton of rainfall. And notice the back building, right? So Wisconsin, for example, according to the GFS, gets hit with a large bow echo of storms late Wednesday. And then look, more storms occur during the during the overnight hour into Thursday. And it just stalls out there for quite a while, which again, the threat kind of grows for those storms, not only because of obviously the severe nature of them, which there could be, but the rain. I mean, that's a lot of rain right there. From one little cell, you could pick up more than you'd need, right? But when you have several of them that are long duration, yeah, that could cause some concerns. Now notice, now we push this into late Thursday and into early Friday, and look at that, Chicago, Detroit are under the gun, into Kansas City. And as we push this forward, it doesn't really clear that quickly. Notice into Friday during the day, we see some showers. Now this is into Saturday, Sunday. We see this continuous kind of flow of activity. It's not as defined anymore, the cold front, but the moisture is still there, and it's kind of associated with where the cold front would be. And notice we have converging moisture from this west, and a lot of rain potentially occurring across New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, especially Nebraska, where they saw already quite a bit of rain. And then notice this storm system, or what's left of the cold front, turns into this large system for the northeast. And look at that. Boom. It just rides up the northeast coast. They have seen a lot of rain across the coastal areas. They don't really need that, but towards, say, New England, where it borders Canada, they are pretty dry, so they would need that. But notice, pretty nasty system. It develops its own cold front, and this is what I mean. It finally clears the United States by the time, almost 10 days. And, yeah, which is quite a bit of time. But notice that the activity is clear for many days across the north, so that gives many chances for those locations to dry out. Notice we do have some activity across the west, and that is actually very, very good news. Yesterday I was talking about that concerning pattern. It is definitely not the worst situation it could be, or not the worst outlook, because of that rain you could see right there. It's going to be hot and above average, but those thunderstorms could just keep things from going horribly wrong, or much worse than they are right now. So at least there's that much, and there has been growing confidence in that. And then towards the long range, you could see the precipitation and the pattern starts changing a bit. But notice definitely the bulk of the activity in the first kind of 10 to 15 days of the forecast. Really 10 days. In 15 days, it starts calming down quite a bit. Total cumulative precip, quite a bit, especially towards the south right here. When I show these maps, a lot of people always look at it and they're like, "Whoa, 2 inches here, 1.5 inch in Indianapolis, Columbus, maybe 1.5." Again, this is just basically telling you where the heaviest rainfall could occur, where it's favored, but it does not tell you how much you will get in particular. So, what I mean by that, let's take a look at the radar again. Right on the GFS today, that would show pockets of probably widespread half-inch, quarter-inch, or half an inch. But for some areas, you would see absolutely nothing. Like, let's take a look at Bloomington. They really didn't get any cells. But then, if you were to take a look at, say, South Bend, which we were looking at earlier, right? I mean, they probably easily, from all the storms they saw right there, 3 to 4, maybe even more inches of rainfall have fallen across South Bend. So, and again, just a bit west or east is not much. So it shows you where the heavy rain is favored, but many locations could see way less, and many locations could see way more. Also, peep the Southwest. Look at that, Arizona into New Mexico. That is definitely good rain. The Northwest, unfortunately, staying a bit drier, but that's definitely not bad. And if we go really far out, 384. The rain amounts here continue, so that is definitely good. It may be a bit too much, and too abrupt, but over time, that's gonna add into beneficial. That's gonna be a benefit for sure. The Canadian model, again, where it favors its heaviest rain, across the Southwest, across the Midwest, and across kind of where that cold front stalls out and develops into a new system. Again, some areas will see less, some areas will see more, but these are the regions that are favored. And this doesn't mean, for example, if you look right there, southern Iowa, let's say, it looks as if it's gonna get missed out. Again, all it takes is one little cell to pass through, and you could get a lot. Doesn't look favored, but again, this is one model and one model run. That's still pretty far out. So let's take a look at this Canadian. Right, there's our system today, spinning away with its scattered cells and showers moving into Canada, Ontario, Quebec. For those folks across southern Canada, in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Quebec, large cities lined up there, just north of the north and east quarter of the U.S. Today, pretty dry, right? Even into tomorrow, but by tomorrow later in the day, the showers, again, they push through and they could definitely consolidate into something a bit more of a widespread event. But there's our system. We could see just blasting through South Dakota, Nebraska, into Minnesota, Iowa, and it does favor it a bit towards the north compared to the GFS. But nonetheless, very similar. We have that cold front, stalls out. You can see kind of drags out across the northeast. We see that reinvigoration of potentially mesoscale clusters, again, across Kansas, Missouri, into Nebraska, potent cells potentially. And then look, it takes a sweet old time right there, combining with that low pressure that the Canadian doesn't develop as much as the GFS did, but it's there. And then you can see the pattern is markedly different. We see drier conditions across the across the north and east, bit wetter towards the west, and even across the south is pretty dry. But up until then, pretty active again. This is the Canadian outlook, and by the time that is done, I just want to take a glance at the temperatures. There will be, you could see definitely multiple changes. The heat kind of getting further towards the east. Some of the cool air working its, again, way towards the southwest, the south, and portions of the east. So that's kind of a topic for another video. There's so much to cover with that. European model. Let's take a glance at this. Another very, very good model. Let's take a look at it. There's our system. Again, moving into the northeast and into southern Canada by by tomorrow in afternoon. Wednesday, notice it could get into a pretty powerful cold front by the time late Wednesday occurs, but then look at that, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, right, into Minnesota, Minneapolis could pick up quite a bit of rain according to the European. Look at that aggression right there with that. That is definitely impressive. And into the UP, into Wisconsin. This is now into early Thursday, late Wednesday. But look, that cold front is only getting started across Iowa and Illinois. Across Thursday afternoon and into Thursday overnight into Friday, a large cluster develops of storms kind of riding in their own little directions. There will be some back building, notice right there, potentially. Right there, you can see stalling out for several hours. More rain. This is now early Friday. This is now into Friday afternoon. And look at that. It continues to pass through many locations across the south into Illinois. Again, look at that. It doesn't really scour out. You can see it reaches Cincinnati by late Friday, but it doesn't really leave it till almost Sunday. And then it, again, forms that lower pressure that the GFS does a bit further off the coast, so maybe not as much rain for the northeast, but still quite a bit across the south. Right there, you can see several waves, and it does keep it wet further across Texas. Total accumulated precipitation, let's take a glance at this UPF. Notice a lot right there when that cold front kind of stalls out, and again favoring the east, the Midwest, even portions of right there the upper plains. And unfortunately, not across Minnesota and North Dakota, or northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota, but hopefully we could get a few showers in there at least. And notice the Southwest right there, New Mexico and Arizona, and Colorado really seeing a lot, and the rest kind of lackluster. But yeah, a lot of agreement with the models. That is always something we want to look forward to. Let me take a look at some, or let's take a look together at some high-res models. So let's take a look, go back to this website, NAM 12KM, and this model only goes out to 84 hours, but it sacrifices, or allegedly, right, supposedly, hopefully, it sacrifices its longevity in its accuracy. And notice there's our system today, goes into Canada by tomorrow, really, or I should say kind of spreads its reign into Canada. And then it tracks still across the Northeast into Wednesday. But there's our Boeing cluster across North Dakota, Minnesota. Right there, you can see it drags it further into northern Minnesota, the NAM 12KM. Further north than the other models, which, again, I don't think it will go that far to the north, but hopefully it does. And then notice it kind of bypasses a lot of Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, so that's kind of interesting to see. And it does develop that cold front just a bit later on. So, yes, that would be definitely different. You could see further, much more greater rains to the north, much less rains towards the south. And if we were to take a look, take a look at the NAM 3KM, kind of the sibling of the NAM 12KM, just a bit more high res. There are some differences. So there's our first system, slides away ever so gracefully. And then look at that, into northeastern Wyoming right there. And boom, into South Dakota, Nebraska, into this area of Sioux Falls, Sioux City, into Minneapolis, right? It does develop quite a bit of rain a bit further towards the south, but notice it does bring it into Illinois and Iowa, which, again, I would say is more realistic. As an NAM 12 game, didn't develop anything there, but yeah, look at those systems right there. Definitely some back building. You can see there's our first front, there's our second wave, and again, just from a few of those thunderstorms, there could be quite a bit of rain, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches. Definitely a pumped up atmosphere. Same thing goes with the Southwest, even more isolated. Some areas nothing, other areas an inch and a half of that nice beautiful rain. It is truly beautiful. You especially appreciate it once you haven't had it for a while. So notice across the FV3 high res, this is its precip outlook. It's a different family, but it only goes out to 60 hours, so similar to the NAM 3KM. And notice it does show some similarities with the NAM 3KM. There's our system pushing into Canada, into the Northeast. And look, right, there's our Boeing system. It keeps it much further to the south than the NAM 12KM, and even further south than NAM 3KM, and starts developing storms across northern Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, rather than into Minnesota, which, again, this is a bit more of a southern scenario, which I'm not sure if I'm buying, but it's a possibility. And then let's take a look at a few more systems. This is a model from similar family as the one I just showed you. And notice there's our system right now, the ongoing one. Here's our second one, and it goes out to only 48 hours, but also taking more of a southern track with that heaviest rainfall. So that's not really what we would like to see. RGEM, high-res version of the Canadian, which I showed you was a second kind of model, the long-range one. Notice there's our system today, pushes out into the northeast and southeastern Canada, and there it is. Look at that, South Dakota, Iowa, definitely vigorous with this one, and takes it further towards the north compared to the ones we were just looking at. And look at that, into the UP, Wisconsin. You can see just a lot of differences, even 84 hours out with this system. This model, you can see, takes a lot of rain to the UP, while the other ones, the ones I just showed you, avoided even southern Wisconsin in some areas. So, yeah, a lot of differences, but notice there's our cold front. It does develop eventually, and it sweeps across the Midwest. Again, a lot of areas to watch for. Severe weather, thunderstorms, heavy rain. That's all a concern in this event. And then our HRDPS, another high-res model, you can see it cuts off the southern United States. It only goes for the northern U.S. forecast. There's our first system, and then it'll look. There's our Boeing Echo, which, again, it takes it more in that medium kind of area, or doesn't take it too far to the north or too far to the south, which, again, makes it a bit more reliable. And I do want to show you the Storm Prediction Center. There are several days of slight. So today's the first day of a slight risk across the Northeast and Florida for severe weather. Here is tomorrow, notice, across the Northeast and starting across there, Wyoming and Montana. And then Wednesday, pretty large area right there. Again, that's definitely big. So we'd have to watch out for that. I do want to say severe storms can still occur outside of this, as these aren't thunderstorms; they're severe storms. Notice the thunderstorm threat are it's in this light green. That's just thunderstorms, and regular thunderstorms can be nasty. That light green, that's a kind of a heightened risk for some severe weather. That yellow is even more riskier for some severe weather. And again, a severe thunderstorm is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, large hail, one of those, just a nasty storm, a very nasty one. So that's something also to watch for. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya.